Stoveleg Media, igniting conversation.
Welcome to True Crime to Go. What can I get for you?
Yeah, I know we've talked about raccoons and all that stuff in the past, but we got to go dark. I need an Uber to get me out of here.
Pull up to the second window and we'll see you next crime.
Welcome to True Crime to Go. I am John, here with Jamie, and I'm sorry in advance.
Yeah, I miss drunk raccoons.
Drunk raccoons are so much more fun than the drunk shenanigans that we have.
Yeah, this
today.
is not fun. It's not good, and it's not that far away. So thank you very much, John. Get us rolling.
This is a case that hit relatively close to home to Jamie and I. This happened just a few miles up I-75 from where we live, and this is awful, and it is so tragic. But I think that I wanted to bring it to you all today just to bring some awareness. This young lady that we're going to talk about today was in an awful situation. Believe it or not, Jamie, we have daughters that before we know it are going to be out on their own, not living with us anymore. And I just want them to be safe. So if this is anything that we can do to bring some awareness and talk about some things that are difficult in hopes of just maybe allowing someone to think about their decisions a little bit more and have other people around them more, that's my goal today.
Absolutely. And I think we get caught in the trap of this could never happen here or this could never happen to me. And today is a perfect example of something that did happen in our backyard. So get us rolling. What happened?
There was a recent report of a criminal complaint that was filed to the Madison County Sheriff's Office and the Richmond, Kentucky Police Department back in August. So back in August, and we don't have a specific date in front of me right now, there was a young woman who left a party at a bar on High Street. If it wasn't a bar, it was just a friend's house. There are some bars in the area. But because she was heavily intoxicated, she requested a ride from Uber. That is the right thing to do, a very mature thing to do. The Uber driver was driven by a man named Clifford Partin. He was 61 years old. Shortly after the ride began, this woman reportedly lost consciousness. She later woke up, but she was not at her home. But she was parked in his vehicle in a secluded section of a parking lot off of Lantern Ridge Drive in Richmond. There's a shopping complex there called the Richmond Center, and there's a lot of stores, but there's also a lot of parking spaces towards the back of the Richmond Center where it's still being developed, and it's a very secluded area. She woke up and was terrified, and she demanded to be taken home. When the driver dropped her off a short distance from her residence, she ran the rest of the way home. After getting home, she realized that something had happened, and she sought medical care and contacted law enforcement.
Police were quickly able to confirm her story. They used GPS data from the Uber trip that aligned with everything she said. They also had surveillance footage from nearby businesses that reported the vehicle stayed parked in that place for about 25 minutes. According to this complaint, when they confronted Partin, he admitted to sexual acts with the victim. Based on these findings, he was arrested, and the arrest just happened a couple of weeks ago. So he was charged with first-degree rape and first-degree sodomy, both under the condition of incapable of consent or physically helpless. The arrest was made in Madison County, and authorities say they're looking for any other possible victims that this may have happened to. This young lady was picked up in a way that she felt safe in making the mature decision. She lost consciousness, and he took advantage of her and assaulted her sexually.
A spokesperson from the police department said that this was a young lady who had just been out with friends, having a good time, and that decided to take an Uber home. She further noted the victim's bravery, calling this a very difficult to imagine situation, but and stating that it takes courage to be able to speak out after such trauma. But I mean, you said it earlier, they're potential other victims. So this young lady being outspoken and potentially shining a spotlight on this guy, it's untelling what could come, in the future of this guy. 'Cause I find it hard to imagine that this was his first time. This is a pretty major incident that happened, and I pray it hasn't happened to anybody else. But if it has, I pray there's justice.
Yeah, and I hope they find it out, because it does take a lot of bravery to step forward and talk about these things if they've happened to you. It's very common for people to try to blame themselves or to feel like they won't be taken seriously, and it's hard to get over that, to go and report it. But this young lady hopefully is going to protect other people, and like you said, to bring awareness to this. People nowadays, and I hate to sound like an old man, but put a lot of trust in these ride share services, and they've been told, if you drank too much, get a ride share, get an Uber, get a Lyft, whatever. But they're not foolproof and fully safe. So was any of this young lady's fault? Absolutely not.
Heavens no.
But I hope this does let people know that just be aware that there are awful people out there at every job, and that includes places where you feel like you should be safe.
Yeah, I think this would just encourage me to say there are safety in numbers. So if you are going to get, a little tipsy and take an Uber, maybe have a friend with you. It's good to have a partner with you at all times. And I hate that that's the world we live in today, but it is the world we live in today. So just always be alert and think these things out in advance. Have a plan. If you are going to get a ride share home, try to do so with somebody else that you trust.
And if you've seen something that just seems odd, been maybe talked to inappropriately by a driver, report it. Let's figure it out and see how legitimate danger could be, so you can protect yourself and others. Let's come together and make this piece of our society that is, it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. So let's make it safe for everybody. I hope this guy is held fully accountable. And if it has happened to anybody else, I hope they get justice as well. But John, this is certainly a lot heavier than a drunken raccoon, but it's something that needs to be discussed. And excellent. I haven't seen, I saw one article about it, but not a ton. So hopefully this helps people get a better understanding and awareness of what's happening.
Absolutely. This is a very new case. So this is all alleged. This has not worked its way through court. There have been no convictions, simply an arrest. So of course you are innocent until proven guilty. I just need to throw that caveat in there. But just be mindful, pay attention to what's going on, and always have a good plan.
This has been another crime story in 10 minutes or less.
Would you like crime with that?
You've listened to True Crimecast, distributed by Stoveleg Media. Check out stoveleg.com to find out more about your hosts and to find other podcasts to listen to. Stoveleg Media, igniting conversation.